Do you think that maybe part of the issue is the fear on the part of school officials of maybe getting sued, of backlash? Do you think that's maybe
That's
why
one of
a
the
lot
that's
of
one of the problems that we have today. And when I say the problem, I have in my legislation where a school can't be sued because of something. And this is an area that we're really looking into. Maybe we should do something like that. Maybe we should have schools be held more accountable. I'm working with the Department of Education both on a national level and on a state level. And what we're going to be doing here in the future is we're going to be establishing where there is some real education, if you will, of administrators into bullying policies and what their responsibilities are. Now, whether or not I end up with legislation that removes that ability to be sued, I don't know. It's according to what is going to happen with the schools and how they'll react. Can we stop just a moment?
Sure. It seems like I remember Governor Daniels talking about that issue, schools and teachers being afraid to act a lot of times or do the right thing because they're going to, there's that possibility.
That was a big purpose of the law, though. The big purpose of the law was to tell teachers and the schools, hey, we're going to make it a state law. Now you go back to the parents of those children who are doing the bullying and you say, look, what we're implementing is state law, and that's why we're doing it. So our purpose for setting up the law like we did was really to try to help the schools. I worked with the administrators, I worked with the teachers, I worked with the teachers union on what we did for legislation, and so that we had something. But like I said, there's something still missing apparently because it's still going on.
Sure. Military benefits. You've been a big
Military
proponent of the military, supporting the military.
Yeah.
You were in the military, but
I was in the military, and I told the Adjutant General, in fact, I've told him several times, I've never been prouder to have worn the uniform of an Air National Guardsman or of a National Guardsman from the state of Indiana. And the reason is because, back when I was younger and I was in there, people used to call us weekend warriors or stuff like that. And they never really understood what the Guard was or what the Guard did. And the Guard has proven today, the Guard is recognized by the active military as a very essential part of our work, or of our armed forces. And before it was, like I said, they kind of look at, well, regulars can do it better than that. But I think that they've shown that. And when I passed that legislation, and again, what made me feel so good, it's not benefiting me, but it's benefiting the kids that are doing the fighting for us overseas, the kids that are dedicating themselves to being military service members and their families. And the thing about that legislation that we did was it was the most comprehensive veterans benefits that had been done since World War II. And, again, you hate talking about the stuff you did but the only good thing about it was it wasn't for me, it was for them. And that's where I get my satisfaction. I still remember when the group from Fort Wayne went to Iraq the first time, and I had done some other legislation for a young man that had his medicine stolen from him by his nurse, and he ended up dying from that because he wasn't getting all of the medicine he needed. And I did legislation, and it was called Steve's Law. But anyway, the parents of Steve, their son was one of the first people that was going to be going to Iraq out of the Fort Wayne unit. And she came up to me and she said, Tom, she said, I've already lost one son. I don't want to lose another one. And I'm not kidding you, that stuck with me till he got back. And he came back alive. So, but it's, these kids are doing something for us. And again, it's that thing, it's not just for themselves. They're looking about for what I mentioned to you earlier, the next generation. And that's the way we all should be looking at things. About what we do is not just for us, but it's for the future.
Mm-hmm.